We're gonna roll. We're gonna roll. Perfect. So you guys, welcome to today's live webcast. Obviously, the best part about being live is you sometimes run into some small little technical glitches. So welcome everybody. I'm super glad you're here. Camille, I'm gonna turn it over to you and let you fire it up.
Hi, I am Camille Leon, founder and director of the Holistic Chamber of Commerce. We are all about getting out all things holistic, products, services, and solutions to the world around us. And part of that means being able to build bigger, better businesses for ourselves. So that is what today is all about. The fortune for you and everybody else is in the follow-up. And Casey Eberhart, my cohort today, is an expert at not just follow-up, but the kind of follow-up that makes a difference, the kind that makes a connection and helps create a relationship, because we're in the holistic arena, and that's not just slam bam thank you ma'am. We want to get to know each other. We want to get to know our clients, our customers, so we can really make a difference in the world. And so with that being said, Casey is an exceptional speaker. I have spent all day, 2 days in a workshop and gotten so much value from those 2 days that I know, and we're giving it to you in 1 hour. Well, so Casey, take it away.
Awesome. Well, welcome everybody. Not sure if you can actually see our smiley faces or not. If you can see us on camera, go ahead and click yes in there. If you can't, click no. That just means our webcam isn't working and we know whether we can pick our nose during this or whether we have to actually pretend we're on live TV. So, welcome everybody. I am so thrilled, and no webcam. Okay, perfect. So we can pick our nose, Camille.
Oh, good. Lucky
awesome.
us.
Awesome, you guys. We have an action-packed webinar this afternoon for you. We're going to spend about an hour with you. I'm going to let you know ahead of time that if you want to grab maybe a notepad and some paper, we're going to be giving you a ton of content for you to be able to take some notes on, and we'll try to get you out of here as close to in an hour as we possibly can. So, you know, Camille and I were talking about one of the struggles that most businesses have, and you know, we were talking about different businesses in different verticals, and really it all comes up all too often that we know that the fortune is in the follow-up, but at the end of the day, nobody really has a system or a process in place to take care of that. And so what we thought we would do today is really kind of walk through follow-up and kind of be able to show you some different ways to follow up with your clients, some ways to increase and build the business that you're building, as well as just kind of have a good time. So we invite you to ask us questions in the little Q&A box in there. We're happy to interact with you totally live, and anything we can do to answer questions, happy to do that as well. So so we are working on trying to get us on camera, but we may not be able to make that one happen in the next couple of minutes. So my guess is the camera's hiding behind the PowerPoint. So let's fire this up. So look, here's the deal. The reality is that nothing in our business is going to change until the pain of changing is less than the pain of staying the same. So, you know, I use my dad as a great example with this. My dad recently was hit by a truck, of all things, and he was stubborn and was like, I'm not in that much pain. I'll just sit on the couch and my body will heal itself, and, you know, so on and so forth. And then over the course of time, the pain, the throbbing pain in his knees and his ankles and in his wrists got so bad that he finally was in so much pain that he flipped the switch and said, you know what, the pain of staying the same is less than the pain of changing. I better get myself to a doctor. And so I want you to think of that as we go through this, that if you're not experiencing some sort of pain point in your business, clients falling out, falling away, not coming back, not having reactivations, not having people come back and see you, then maybe, just maybe, putting in place a follow-up process or system is going to be a good idea for you. Wouldn't you agree, Camille?
Oh, totally. And it's just because we need to stay in touch with our tribe, with our circle of fans and friends and customers, and that's what leads to more success for us and also all of them. Yeah. So, but if you want to save time, then having a system is going to simplify it and help you get more done in less time.
Absolutely. So we put up this slide just to kind of put some context to say that if you don't have a follow-up process in place, you're not really alone, right? You're not really alone if you're watching this and you're with us this afternoon and you're going, you know what? I don't really have a system. I don't even know what the heck they're talking about. Well, these stats will show that you're not alone, right? It simply says this, that about 50% of people will never even follow up with a prospect, even one time. But if you look at the 3 times, you know, you're looking at almost 85% will never follow up with somebody more than 3 times. Yet 80% of sales, if you go all the way to the bottom, 80% of sales are made on the 5th to the 12th contact. So even though you're not alone, are we leaving money on the table? And both Camila and I come from a space of we don't like to leave money on the table, and we really don't want to have you leave money on the table, because the better you do in your business, the more people that you can serve, your communities are better served, your clientele is better served, and everybody wins. So that's really what we're talking about today. So look, here's the deal. For every month we don't have contact with a client or prospect, we lose about 10% of our influence. Which essentially means this, that if you have a stack of business cards on your desk right now, after going to lots of events, you're gathering cards of prospects, and you have them on your desk and you haven't followed up with them for a month, 6 months, maybe even a year, they're collecting dust, they're turning yellow, the corners are peeling, they're starting to decompose, right? There is a high likelihood that your influence with that particular prospect is next to 0. Okay, so we want to stop that, because if we can save you time in follow-up, make you more money in the business, and just put a process in place to stay in touch with these folks, even if it's just as simple as a text, or as simple as a greeting card, or as simple as an email, or as simple as some of the other things that we're going to share with you, we increase the likelihood that that relationship will be built, bonded, and glued together. So we'd like to just, really kind of point out where most of the problem comes in, and that is that most businesses don't take care of their customers, right? So the number one reason that people leave any type of business is perceived indifference. And I say the word perceived in here for a reason, and that's this, that I'll go to events and I'll say, how many of you love your clients? And every hand will go up, and I will say, okay, if they do, if I called your clients on the phone right now, would they be able to tell me that you love them? And everyone will say yes, and I'll say, great, how do you do that? And then the inevitable answer is, well, I send them a newsletter, or I reach out to them via email. Well, I'm here to tell you that that's not really sharing how much you feel about a client or a customer or a referral source even. That's just simply you remarketing your same business over and over and over again. So we want to be able to stay in touch with the clients and keep them in the fold longer. I'll give you a great example of just a reactivation campaign that I worked with a chiropractor down in Long Beach, California a couple of years ago. And what I did was I said to the chiropractor, look, give me a list of all the people that you haven't talked to or been in the shop for 3 years or longer. So from his perspective, the list was a dead list, meaning they kind of went off. So what we did was we ended up basically sending out a greeting card to 100 people, and that greeting card resulted in 46 responses back and 22 rebooked appointments. And I'll tell you a little bit of that story closer to the end as well, just in how we actually put that together. But we have to make sure that our clients and our customers and our potential clients really know that we care about them and love them. Right, Camille?
Oh, the thing that we forget is that people are overwhelmed with input from all over, and a lot of the other companies out there have bigger budgets than we do. So that's what we're competing with. So how do we stay in touch with our people? So they get reminders about, Casey is here, Camille is here, Gary is here for me. Oh, right. And I wanted a massage, or I wanted to get a candle, and that's what follow-up is about. It's not just meeting you at the expo. It's having a relationship so that they remember you're the answer to whatever they need.
Yeah, and Gary brought up a good point. He said, in my honest opinion, oh, you can see the chat screen. Oh, well, that's perfect. Perfect. We love that. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. So nobody write anything dirty on the chat screen. We'll start with there. So Gary says, in my honest opinion, you have to call them. That's certainly an element. But if you have 1,000 clients or 2,000 clients, calling them may not be the easiest way to do that. So I am not sure why. Let's see if we can. This is a. Well, we'll go with it. You guys are getting to see the panel here. You know what? I'm just gonna do this. Watch this.
Oh, it's like magic.
Perfect. It's magic. Now you don't get to see anything. Neither do we, but that's okay. So we're gonna hold off on your questions until the end. It looks like. Dun, 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 dun. This is the beauty of it.
Blessed are the flexible, for they shall not get bent out of shape. Ladies and gentlemen, life is live, like and things come up. So
absolutely. So a good thing you can't see me, because now you'll see beads of sweat forming on my forehead with technology challenges, right? It's all how we overcome those. So I think calling them is a great idea. We're gonna talk a little bit about that as well in a little bit later, Gary. So thank you for bringing that up. So look, here's the scoop. FollowUp is a system, right? It's a system, and when we think of system, I come up. We have an acronym for that, and it's save yourself some time, energy, and money. Save yourself some time, energy, and money in putting together a process or a system to be able to take care of your clients and stay connected to them, right? So, for example, we should have had a system in place that took care of all of the checks and balances to make sure this would go off without a hitch. We had what's called a system breakdown in my world. We call that a system breakdown. And out of that system breakdown comes system breakthroughs. Right? So a breakdown in a process or a system allows you to find the holes, find the challenges, fix them, and come up with a breakthrough in your business. And I think that's one of the things I love about the Holistic Chamber is that a lot of our members are really into taking breakdowns and creating breakthroughs in their business. And so systems is just a way to be able to do that, right? I can tell you right now that as soon as we're done with this webinar, we will be creating a checklist, and that checklist will go into our production calendar to be able to get through to the next one so we don't run into the same challenges. That's what today is about for you, is taking a breakdown in your follow-up and creating a breakthrough out of it. So what Camille and I did was we kind of brainstormed, and we put a bunch of different ways for you to follow up with your clients down. We have about 20 of them. And so we're gonna go through these, and I'm gonna talk about each one. And so if you're writing this stuff down, write each of these down, and we'll come up and we'll talk about each of them, and then we have kind of a process to put them in place. So first one up is texting. You know that stack of business cards that you have? That's really easy. You throw that, wrap a rubber band around it, put it in your car, and every day while you're sitting, we live in Los Angeles, so for us, I can say when you're in traffic, you can text people. Where you live, you might have to do it in a parking lot. Don't text and drive, obviously. But every day, I just take whoever's on top. I take their phone number. I text them, and I just say, I appreciate you. Thanks for being a part of my life. Thanks for doing business with me. It's not a sales tool. It's just simply a way to stay in touch. So this afternoon, I actually did that. I was driving on the 405, the infamous 405 in Los Angeles here. And we were at a shockingly long standstill. So I just started texting, and I ended up setting an appointment for my business based on me just sending a text that said, I appreciate you. The person wrote back, oh my gosh, that's so great to hear from you. I haven't heard from you in a while. Let's get together for lunch. It's a great way to just stay in touch. A nice to meet you card. If you've got cards from Staples or Hallmark, great. We're going to show you a way we like to send cards towards the end here, but sending a nice to meet you card. Email is obviously a way to do that. Like Gary said, a phone call is a great way to stay in touch. Is it reasonable for you to call every single one of your clients every single month? That might get a little stalkery, but hey, if that works for you, it works for you. Magazine article. This is a great one. This is one of my favorites. I do this every month. I simply subscribe to magazines that my clients would read. I subscribe to magazines that my clients would read. And then what I do is when I'm done reading it, I simply cut out all the articles. I just take my list of people I want to stay in touch with. I then match that up with an article that I think would be of use to them, put it in an envelope with a little note that just says, you know, hey, Camille, I thought you'd find this interesting. Fold it up, send it off. This is not about sales. So if you ask me, I would tell you don't put a business card in there. I know people will argue that they want to put a business card in there, so I'll leave that up to you. I've just had better results the less I try to sell, and I don't care how we spin it. Handing somebody a business card is in fact selling, but that's probably a topic for a different conversation.
That's a different webinar.
That's a different webinar. You can connect with them on social media. So when you come back from your local chapter of the Holistic Chamber of Commerce, connecting with all of those people on social media. You could promote them on social media. So if you see an event coming up, you know, this webinar was promoted on social media, being able to promote it on social media on behalf of the Holistic Chamber would be great. When you have a cause, there's a reciprocal thing that happens on social media. You promote my event or cause, I'll promote your event or cause. So we could promote them. We could pass them a referral. I know that in our mastermind program, one of the things that we work on is in our network, we try to find as many referrals for people in our mastermind. It just helps them build their business as well. So, you know, I really am a huge advocate for becoming a referral machine or a referral monster, right? Another way to stay in touch with your folks is to put a blog post together. Do a quick blog post on all the reasons, for example, if you were to take today's webinar and do a blog post on, you could say, hey, we learned 3 things today on a webinar with Camille at the Holistic Chamber of Commerce. Here are the top 3 things we took away. Number 1, number 2, number 3. Here's the thing, you guys. The reality is, if Camille doesn't do a great job of search engine optimizing her own name or the Holistic Chamber of Commerce, you doing a blog post on the Holistic Chamber of Commerce, sending her the link, she'll promote it. So now you're getting her network to look at your blog post. But the other cool thing is you might pick up some traffic to your website or your YouTube channel purely from Google just by doing a blog post for somebody else. Okay?
Well, you know, the other thing about that, though, is it makes you look really good and really generous. People are so used to everybody always talking about themselves. I do this, I do that, blah, blah, blah. But if you turn that around and say, Casey does this, Casey does that, then you look all the better because you are talking about somebody else. And that just, both of you, all of you look good in those kinds of scenarios.
Yeah, a blog post is a huge one. It's a huge one. You could also send a small gift, right? I'm going to show you this afternoon on how you can do that pretty quickly from your phone. But I use this as a great example. Just the other day, 2 days ago or 3 days ago, in my office, my office is in a buddy of mine's office, and they buy a lot of ink toner for their copy machines. They run a direct mail office, so they print off like hundreds of thousands of letters every day. And the ink company actually came in and with their thing of ink toner, put a coffee mug filled with candy on the desk with a little note that just said, hey, we appreciate you. So you could send a small gift. Okay, let's go through some more. You could interview them. You know, one of the things that you guys could do, let me just give you a little tip. Here's the thing. You could actually call Camille on the phone and say, hey, can I interview you? Get her to do a quick interview for you about your business, about the Holistic Chamber. She'll go promote it. You'll go promote it. Everybody wins. You could interview people in your local chapter. Take your president or your vice president or one of the other members or all the members. Get on your smartphone, hit the record button, interview them about their business, put it up on social media. It's a huge way to stay in touch. Video testimonial. One of the things I love doing is that when I work with somebody or I have a good experience, I'll turn my camera on, I'll do a quick video testimonial about them, I'll send it over to them, I'll say, hey, use this however you want, and bam. It's a way to stay in touch, and now they get to see my face every single time they see it. Keeps me front of mind. Right? Send some samples. You're able to send samples to people if you have a product, good, or service that lends itself to this. Send some samples. I work with a lot of people that have network marketing or home-based businesses where they're selling maybe vitamins or little juice packets or whatever. Well, being able to send out samples to your potential customers is a great way with just not a, here, buy it, here's the pricing sheet and all of that. Hey, here, I just wanted you to try this. Bam. Now that I'm thinking about it, you could actually say, hey, try this, and if you like it, I'd love a testimonial, right? You could do that. Sometimes you sell more by not selling, okay? So you could introduce them to others, right? One of the things I love to do is I'll take 3 or 4 of my potential clients out to dinner once a month. I just want to introduce them to each other. That's just my way of doing it. I'm a very kind of hands-on, in-your-face type of guy. You could invite them to an event. You know, if you have an event in your local area, I don't know, how about this? Why don't you take your potential clients and invite them to your local chapter of the Holistic Chamber of Commerce to experience the camaraderie and the community that the Holistic Chamber builds, right? Invite them to a meetup.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Helps everybody, right? We grow the chapters, we grow the chamber, we grow our connection with those people, we introduce them to people. More than likely, they're going to have something that they could bring to the marketplace as well. Everybody wins. You could stop by their office with coffee. This is one of my also one of my favorites. I did it with Camille when Camille and I first started working together. I literally called and said, "What kind of coffee do you like?"
Oh, it was great. It was so great. He showed up with my perfect order, and look at us now.
Yeah, I did it this afternoon. I just got back from doing a presentation. I had a prospect for my business. I knew what kind of coffee he liked. We met at a hotel. By the time he showed up, I had his coffee sitting right there. Goes a long way in staying in touch and really building that glue because it shows that you care, right? You can buy from them. I buy from almost all of my prospects. Almost all of my prospects I buy from. I can review their product. Again, this kind of goes into the testimonial. And you can sell, send a copy of your book. I know a lot of you on this call have your own books. I know that there are lots of authors in our space. If you've got a copy of your book, here's the deal. I promise you, you're not going to get rich selling your book. What you will get rich doing is using your book as a credibility piece to build your practice, build your service business, build your hypnotherapy business, whatever business you're in, using that book as a credibility builder. Okay? Now, I love thank you cards because it's a way to reach out in kindness to somebody at their mailbox when they're normally used to getting bills and credit card applications and all that kind of junk mail. Being able to send a card to somebody has such a powerful impact, and it makes the people feel good. And the better you make people feel, the more likely they are to invest in your product, good, or service. Does that make sense, Camille?
It totally makes sense. And here's the thing for me about cards. Like, I delete emails as soon as I can, but with cards, I put them up on my bookshelf, I put them on my desk. I see that person every day for as long as I keep that up there. And not only that, but anybody who walks into my office also sees that, oh, wow, somebody sent you, like, it's just, it goes above and beyond.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's kind of how this process, here's how one of these processes can work. So you've written all these things down, whether it's text and nice to meet you card and email and phone call and article and social media and testimonials, whatever. Here's the deal. We all learn in very different ways, right? So some of us are visual. Some of us read by email. Some of us communicate via text. Some of us want to receive something in the mail. Your clients are no different. Is there an easy way out and just send a bunch of emails? Absolutely. But I'm just looking at my phone, and Camille's with me right now. There's 39,000, what is it? 39,828 emails on my phone. There's so many emails on my phone that it literally can't even put the entire digit, so it just puts periods. I'm not a guy you're going to communicate with just via email. Right. We're all busy. We all have stuff going on. So here's the other thing. I always love working with marketers that have somehow convinced people that email marketing is the end-all be-all, right? Oh, I've got constant contact. I'm going to do really an amazing job of building this list. And they get all excited because they have 2,000 people on their list. They email something out, and then they all jump up and down with giddy excitement because they have a 20% open rate, which really, to me, translates to congratulations, means 80% of the people that you sent that to didn't get it. To me, that is a very scary notion. So I'm always trying to figure out different ways to stay in touch with people. So here's kind of the plan. Pick 5 of those ways. all with a different modality. All with a different modality. So you might text one month, then the next month you send a greeting card, then the next month you call them, then the next month you promote them on social media. Okay? That is the that's the way to be able to do that. And then you take a time frame and you put that time frame in place. So remember in the beginning we said that for every month you don't have contact with a client or prospect, you lose 10% of your influence. So if you were to just simply take 5 of the things that we've talked about, put them in an order. So maybe month 1 you text them, month 2 you send them a greeting card, month 3 you send them an email, month 4 you call them, and month 5 you send them a magazine article. Okay? We've just put together 5 months of follow-up. So now you meet somebody today. What do? You go to your thing and you go, oh, month 1, I got to text them. Okay? Then you just simply say, hey, in a month, I got to stay in touch with them one more time. The next month, oh, I got to send them a card. Then the third one is I'm going to send them an email. And that's a way that you can start to build up this rapport so that when you meet somebody, say, tomorrow, you don't have to think. It's now, I'm going to text them. I know what I'm supposed to do. It's number 1 on my list is text. Now, I'm going to say that texting them is great, but there's a better way, and that's to be able to send them a greeting card, an actual greeting card in the mail, just saying, hey, nice to meet you, love getting to know you, when can we get together for coffee, so on and so forth. So I'm going to open this back up before I go to the next one. I want to just go ahead and see if okay, cool, it doesn't look like we had any more questions in there, so that's awesome. So we'll just pop that back so we don't mess up the screen again. So I want to show you guys something really cool. I know that you've got a ton of different things and your brains are probably spinning out of control with all this stuff going, oh my gosh, the fortune's in the follow-up. Well, here's the deal. Let me just show you something super cool and that you can be able to do. So I happen to use a product that I think is fantastic. It's a company called Send Out Cards, and it allows us, it gives us the opportunity to reach out in kindness through the use of our phone. So when I'm at a networking event, I'm able to send a greeting card completely on my phone in less than a couple of minutes. And it's a great networking tool. I'm a guy that doesn't take business cards anywhere. I simply, when somebody says, hey, can I have your business card? I say, no, I don't carry them, but let me send you something. And then I take out my phone, I take a picture of us, and then I send them a greeting card. So I want to just show you how this works. We have a few extra minutes, Camille. So what I want to do is I want to...
I like this, by the way. I just have to tell you, like, he sent me one of these cards, and it worked. It really got my attention in a way that most other people don't get my attention. So what I want to do is I want to just demonstrate how this whole thing works. So we're going to have Bruce kind of help us out here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through how this works. So what you guys are seeing on your screen right now is we've just connected up Bruce's phone to the screen. So this is actually live. So if he gets a text, if he gets a Periscope thing, you're going to see it live show up on his deal. So what we're going to do is he's going to click that button on the bottom left there that says Send Out Cards. Now we have about 17,000 different cards to choose from inside this system. You can see everything from holidays, keeping in touch. We have French cards in there, Spanish cards, thank you cards, nice to meet you cards. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to send a greeting card with Camille and I's picture on the front of it. So what Bruce is going to do is he's going to hit photo cards. He's then going to pick which card we choose. In this case, down at the bottom, you'll see that there's a 2-panel card, there's a 3-panel card, there's a big card, which is 8.5 by 11. By the way, imagine the impact of a big card if you sent one of your clients a birthday card that's 8.5 by 11 for a couple of bucks, still less than you're going to buy at a Hallmark store, and it shows up in their mailbox. It can be a very, very powerful tool. And we also have postcards. Although, truth be told, I'm not a huge postcard sender because I get enough junk mail postcards that kind of drive me crazy. So we're just going to create the card. So you can see there that it says front of the card. So Bruce is just going to tap that your photo here, or that add to card. Here, Camille and I have taken a couple of pictures. We're going to pull these right off of Bruce's phone. So he's just going to pick one of those cards, or pick one of those pictures, sorry. We're just going to upload it into here. You're going to see that he can move it a tiny bit. There's a little bit of, wow, I just look like I have a big head and no body.
Wow. That looks like I have completely photoshopped my head onto that body.
Casey's actually a cartoon
I'm a caricature of myself at this point. So we just added that to cart. You'll see he swiped to the left. Now he's got the inside left. If he wanted to add something there, he could, but he's going to swipe to the left. Now we've got the inside right. So he's going to tap that screen. We're into a text editor. It looks very much like a text. He's going to pick that F. That's going to change it into a... He's going to... Okay, you're going like 7,000 miles a minute. Jeez. Here we are.
Oh, Easter
again,
buns. Can we use the font for
again,
Easter
let
buns?
me just say system. Save yourself some time, energy, and money. There will be a system and a process put in place as soon as we wrap this up. So, so we're going to go ahead and just pull a font. Bradley Hand. Okay, fantastic. So he's going to go ahead and that black letter A right there, that changes the font size. You can increase the size of the font just by moving your finger over that black dot. And you'll see down below that we have the ability to align the text differently. Center it, left justify it, or right justify it.
I just want to add one thing. If a lot of your clients or potential clients are seniors, then the ability to change font size this easily can really make a difference.
Absolutely. You know, I work with some clients that use reverse mortgages, and their client base tends to be a little bit older. So because they have a harder time seeing, it's very easy for them to take the same message, make the font bigger where they're not going to watch it on an email.
Right.
Being able to increase the size of the font is a huge, huge plus for those folks. Okay, and then that next to the black letter A, that is supposed to be a paint can. I think it is not the best drawing of whatever it is, but this chooses the color of the font. So Bruce has got his finger on that little circle moving it around, or he can simply choose one of the 10 colors that are off to the side. So he's picked blue. He's just going to tap the screen again, and now we're back into a text. So he's actually typing in a message, and you can see it on the screen. He also has the ability to use the microphone and talk into the phone a message. However, I can just tell you guys from my experience doing that autocorrect. Thanks for joint. Apparently, he thinks we're at some sort of 420 house. But you know, so he's just typing in a message right here. Thanks for joining us on the webinar. Then he can go ahead and sign it, you know, your buddy Casey or your friend. And then maybe he wants to put a phone number at the bottom. So he could type a phone number at the bottom if he wanted here.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's a great way to stay in touch, really celebrate somebody while they're alive. So, you know, if you do... Like I have one client that she does facials. So what she does is she takes a picture of the person as they're finished up with their facial. So when they're bright and fresh, be able to put that on the front of a card and say, hey, thanks for stopping by. Really appreciate it. Now the person has a physical greeting card where they actually remember how they felt as soon as they were done in her shop. So she's going to click done.
That's great.
We're now going to add that to a cart. And you know what? I know this card is going to come to me, so we're going to go ahead and use, because we're in Bruce's account, let's have him add some brownies so I can get good and sugar high.
Right.
So we have
Bruce.
we have about 1,800 gifts to choose from inside the system. So he's going to scroll down. He'll show you some. We've got gummy bears and all kinds of cookies and treats and popcorn. We've got books and we've got seeds. We've got cookies. We have olive oil. We have birthday packages. We have Mickey Mouse. We've got one of my favorites is that Holy Moly Guacamole dip mix. We have a menu board, candles.
Ooh, nice candles.
We've got cotton candy room spray. I mean, who doesn't need some cotton candy room spray? I mean, let's face it. We've got toys in here, all kinds of stuff. So we're just going to go all the way back up to the top. We're going to add brownies to the card. It's just going to click Add to Cart. As soon as that picture shows up there, he can click Checkout. There it's going to show him the return address. He can do a new recipient. So if you're actually at a networking event, Casey Eberhart going in there, what you can do is now you've got the ability to hit new recipient. You got to send it to someone.
Well, I thought we were going to just take it from the list, but I can type it in.
We can do one thing. You're one step ahead if you're going to take it from the list. So he can just ask me for my name and address, and then he can put it right in here, and it can save it right to the contact manager inside the system. So here he's got his whole list of people, so he's going to now just search because I'm already in the system. But if you were doing it for the first time, we would go through that little thing, and there would be a button at the bottom that says, I feel like I'm getting whiplash here, guys. I apologize, but that's okay. So there's my address. He's got it shipped, so he's going to click continue to checkout. Here it's just going to show how much it is. It's $4.50 and 13 points. That $4.50 is just for shipping because we added those brownies to the card. So as soon as he clicks submit payment,
there you go.
And bam. Right now, that card is being processed, put into an envelope, printed out, added brownies to it, and that will go out in tomorrow's mail, and it'll arrive at my house 2 or 3 days from now. Pretty cool, huh? I'll tell you this. The card itself is under $1. Okay? I mean, Camille...
No, it's under $1. So I just want to say, because we send 2 types. We send some out with our logo, and we send most of them out with a photo, right? So a personalized card for $1, less than $1, is amazing. One of the other perks of this for us in this system is if we're sending it to Canada, it's shipping with Canadian postage. If we're sending it to somebody in the US, it's being sent with US postage. And we have a lot of members who are in either country who do have contacts in other countries, so that's a big plus.
Yeah, it's a huge, great way, and you know, I'm a guy that's been using send out cards in my business literally from day one, which was back in 2006. And I'll share with you a quick story, and then we'll fire this. We'll bring this thing to a wrap up here. So, back in 2006. I got a call from a friend of mine. I had an equipment rental company in the film and television world, and we were marketing. We only had one real place to market the business, and it was a lot of money to market. And so when my friend Peter called and suggested that I send out thank you cards, I gave him all the reasons why it wouldn't work. It was expensive. I didn't have their address. It was inconvenient. I'm not going to run to the post office. And I said, look, unless you're telling me that there's a system out there that's going to print it, lick it, stuff it, stamp it, and take it to the post office, I'm not interested. And he said, then I'm going to keep talking. And then I said, my credit card's out. And here we are today, years and years later, and really it's been a fantastic journey being able to watch and help businesses just like yours save a bunch of time in their follow-up and make more money in their practice, in their business. So the next evolution of that story was we sent out a bunch of cards that had our logo on it. On the inside it was, here's a coupon code, here's our email address, our website, our phone number, buy our stuff, buy our stuff, buy our stuff. And you know what happened, Camille? Nothing. Nobody called, and we were trying to use a great reach out and kindness tool to people, and it was falling flat because we were marketing. It was all about us
instead of about them.
It was all about us. And so then what we did was I heard the CEO of Send Out Cards do a little workshop, and he said a phrase that changed the course of my business career forever. And it was simply this: appreciation will win out over self-promotion every single time.
Right.
Everything that we do, everything that we did at that point was then talking about our clients, serving them, showing them appreciation. And we started making so much money in our own business because we were reaching out in kindness to somebody else, celebrating them. And when we celebrated them, what we found was that it glued and bonded them to us, and they never went anywhere else. We had the most fiercely loyal customer base on the planet. We never had people leave because of perceived indifference, because we reached out and showed them we cared.
Well, you were creating relationships. It wasn't just about the hit or miss. It was about, we want to be related to you so that we can help you in a way that goes beyond what everybody else is doing. So that's great.
Yeah, it was huge. So look, let's pop this back onto the PowerPoint if we can. And there is a website that goes along with this. That allows you to do some other cool things, like you can group your contacts together. You can send out multiple card campaigns, like your holiday cards. You can be able to do that. Send out your holiday cards with one click of a button. And here we go. We should be coming back. There we go. Ah, there we go. We're good. Let me pop back over here. It looks like somebody had a question. I want to be able to answer a question here. Oh, great question. You can absolutely send the same text to everybody on your contact list at one time. You create the card once, and you can actually personalize it. You can tell the system, hey, drop in the person's first name. You can drop in their last name. You can do... so absolutely. You hit it, do it one time, sends out a whole thing. Just like, think of like your holiday cards, right? Dear Client X, we want to really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Or Dear Client X, happy birthday. We do that in our office. We send the same birthday card. Everybody in our contact list gets the same birthday card for the whole year. And then next year we pick out a different card.
Oh, we should talk about, so one of the features in this system is that you can set up a series. So you can choose a birthday card and some birthday text. And then, you know, so I meet Casey today, and I go in and I get I enter him into the system. Casey, when's your birthday?
January 17th.
So
day of the Northridge earthquake down here in Los Angeles.
Oh, that's good to know. So I just put in the system, you know, send Casey a birthday card for January 17th. It's done. It's taken care of. And I know he's going to get a birthday card. Oh, won't that be sweet?
Absolutely. And so remember, going back, let me throw this out there. Remember we said that for every month you don't have contact with a client or prospect, you lose 10% of your influence. Think of if you had a way that you could put 12 cards in a series, hit the send button one time, and for the next year, that contact is going to get a card from you every single month. And we have a lot of fun with it. We send cards out to remind people to take their clocks back or push their clocks forward an hour. If we see somebody on social media where they're taking a picture of their grandkids playing t-ball or whatever, we'll slap that on a card and say, hey, we want you to just have this as a memory. We really use send out cards to mark a moment in time and be able to send that out to our clients as well.
I like it for holidays. I mean, it's a great way to reach out to a lot of people at the same time. It's also a great way to bring people's attention to special events that are coming up. Like you said, you use it for the time to set your clocks back or forward, which is nice because nobody else is sending cards about that. So you really stand out.
Yeah, we really try to use send out cards in ways that most people aren't, right? It's really easy to send a holiday card. Well, the cool thing about a holiday card is that, yes, it's easy, it saves time, it looks cool, whatever. But I just know that most people at the end of the holidays are going to bundle up all those cards and they're going to go in the trash, right? So, you know, we like to send cards like Happy St. Patrick's Day, Happy Office Worker Day, Happy Brownie Day. Like, we find goofy ways to reach out to our clients and our prospects in ways that if we're doing a mass mailing, we want to make it quirky enough that it doesn't land and get bundled into all the other messaging. So you might consider sending out Happy New Year's Day cards, right? Most people are taking down their holiday stuff by the 1st or 2nd of the month. In January, be able to do that. Or, you know, maybe in February, you send out a card to all your prospects and say, hey, how are those resolutions coming? Here's your, you know, here's your little boost to keep up with those resolutions. You know, we've just used it for, I use it every day. This afternoon, I went down and I was doing a presentation for a potential prospect. I took our picture, drinking the coffee. I actually sent him a card and added a $5 Starbucks card inside the card and say, hey, the next cup of coffee's on me. It was a great way to stay back in touch. When he gets it, he's going to love it. And it's our picture on the front, which more than likely means, you know, other than me looking like a caricature with my big head on that stick figure body, it can go on a desk, a bulletin board, or a refrigerator. So just think about how your customers would receive it. If you were on a picture with them, you know, you got done doing a facial or just out of hypnotherapy, and maybe you're helping them to stop smoking. You're helping them overcome a challenge. Being able to send them a card 30 days later to say, hey, how's it going? Just want to wish you congratulations. Great job. You've made it 30 days. It's a great, great tool. So in all this, nothing changes until something changes.
Right.
And so our hope or our goal for you today is that you'll take some action. So I'm not gonna beat around the bush. Camille and I want you to try send out cards. We're just gonna ask that you give it a try, and we've actually put together what we think is kind of a no-brainer situation. So let me show you how this works. So what you're going to want to do, you're going to want to go to the website holisticchamberofcommerce.com/cards-only. Okay, holisticchamberofcommerce.com/cards-only. You're going to uncheck the custom branding manager. That allows you to put your own logo on the back of the card. If that's something that's interesting, you can leave it checked. But if that's not something that you're interested in, just uncheck it. You're going to want to make sure that in the sponsor ID box, the number appears 176078. When you go to that site, it should have Camille's picture, or the Holistic Chamber of Commerce, in the upper left corner. And here's the deal. It's $39 a month, and you can cancel at any time. There's no contract. You're going to get 100 points. Remember that card we sent, Camille? It was 3 points, okay? And those brownies were 10 points. So you can start to kind of do the math on that. You can completely customize the card. Your phone app is included, so you can do that from your phone. Contact manager included, your picture storage included, building campaigns or the series like we talked about, a multiple card campaign or your holiday card. That builder is inside there, and it allows you to send cards and gifts. So we put this picture up of Maya Angelou just because it's so important to kind of keep in mind that, people are going to forget what you say. They're going to forget what you did. But at the end of the day, they're never going to forget how you made them feel. What are you doing to make your clients and your prospects feel as though you love them? Well, let me show you how we're going to show you how we love you and want to make you feel unbelievably special. This is great for you to come on board and use send out cards. But we like to add a little bonus, right? You guys spent the afternoon going through this rigmarole with us, going through our little bit of our technology challenges. So we've added some bonuses. Okay, so the first thing is myself or Camille or one of my team will actually get on the horn with you and actually walk you through how to use this from start to finish. So don't get scared by the technology or scared by going, oh my gosh, what's happening? There's all these buttons being pushed. At the end of the day, we'll hop on the horn, we'll work with you and figure out how it works best for you and your company. We'll also add a 3-card campaign into the system for you. It'll be a nice to meet you card, maybe a happy birthday card, and a thanks for the referral or thanks for the business. We'll add that in there for you. Also, out on the road, I speak all over the country, and I have a CD set called Get More Referrals Now. It really is designed for you to listen to and learn how to generate an unlimited flow of connections from going to a networking event. So we'll give you that as well, even if you cancel it the first month, right? Cancel it, you're still going to get the CD. Those CDs will go out tomorrow.
And let me just point out, he's being humble right now by saying, I speak all over the country. He's actually leaving for Australia soon because he also speaks in other countries. So this is a man with a resume that goes beyond the standard. Get more referrals now. He's getting referrals every day.
Yeah, I mean, I really have figured out that to be a referral machine is an easy space to play in. When you have more leads than you could ever talk to, that's a great space to be in. And this CD is a good one for you to listen to. That'll go out in the mail. I'll put it in the mail tomorrow. And then finally, this is just something that we like to add in just as a way of saying thank you. Is we know that there are lots of people that buy stuff at grocery stores all over the country, day in and day out. Well, I've got this really cool grocery savings card. It doesn't cost you anything. You go online, you type in your ID number, and then you pick whatever you buy already. And the company's just going to send you coupons for that stuff, the exact brands that you use. I use it all the time. There's gift cards in there that you can save money on. So, I like to buy the clothes at the store H&M. I can buy a $100 gift card in there sometimes for $60 or $70. So I save 30 or 40% right off of an H&M gift card. So we'll throw that in there, help you save enough money to pay for your cards to help get you started. So that's kind of our deal. We want you to check out holisticchamberofcommerce.com/cards-only. Make sure, because we won't know who to send the gifts to unless in the sponsor ID box is the number 176078. So even if it doesn't show Camille, when it gets down on that second screen where it's asking for your information, you want to make sure it says 176078. So here's the deal. Go in, put a few bucks in for postage, go grab we call it the preferred customer package, uncheck that box. It says custom branding package. It's going to cost you 39 bucks. Put in, 10, 15, 20 bucks for postage. You're into the thing like 50 or 60 bucks to give it a try. You're under no obligation to keep it. Cancel it at any time. You want to keep it? Awesome. We'll work with you and show you how it works. A little bit of your monthly fee every time is going to go back to the Holistic Chamber of Commerce, and I can tell you that it helps create an entire being for the Holistic Chamber because they use it to help grow your chapter wherever you are. So, Camille, any final words before I wrap this up?
I just want to say, we do a lot to reach out to other people. We have a big message that we want to share about helping and healing others, whether it's Mind, Body, Spirit, or Business Budget Planet. The fortune, Mind, Body, Spirit, really is in the follow-up. That's what's creating connections that make a difference for you and the world around you. So thank you, Casey, for sharing this with our audience and giving us this great opportunity with these great extra gifts.
Awesome. And Camille, let me just say, in case any of you are wondering, I am a member of the Chamber of Commerce. I love the Chamber. I am a member. I'm not some just kind of outside guy that doesn't speak our language. I'm a very transformational guy in terms of how I speak and who I am. So it's great to be among peers in the Chamber, and my job or my goal is to help you increase your business. So even though the fortune is in the follow-up, let me tell you that Send Out Cards is, in fact, the follow-up tool. So we hope you'll take us up on it, holisticchamberofcommerce.com/cards-only. You guys, with that, on behalf of Camille and myself and the rest of the board at the Holistic Chamber of Commerce, have an amazing day. Now we'll go out and give somebody else an absolutely awesome day. Reach out, stay in touch, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.